Hello, my friends. Have you ever heard about the pushing impulse or pushing instinct? So, this is something that I found very interesting, and it's very, very common. It's when we consciously, or most more common, unconsciously, we push everything that does not bring us pleasure. So, for example, or or it and or put in another ways that would bring us or give us pain or a level of uncomfortable. So that relates to very often the efforts required to develop the virtues, right? So in every movement that we have, pushing away the effort to develop virtues, and we know that developing virtues does require work. So it does requires ourselves to put ourselves in a position that we are not necessarily under that comfort zone, because it's really like a from circumstantial point of view. So okay, so this is then everything that would push us against this movement. It would be called, it's what we can calling the pushing impulse. Now it's very interesting because if you think about it, like even in our society today, or even within ourselves, which is most importantly, it's very interesting. It's actually a exercise that is recommended for everyone to identify within ourselves what is or how much of impulse or repulsing impulse or we have, or pushing impulse we have, right? So and how that can come to us. For example, like if we're invited to develop patience, and we are just not wanting to face the circumstances that require patience, that could be an impulse, that could be a result of a pushing impulse. Or for example, sayings such as, oh yes, I want to do this, or for example, I want to be more loving, but this, or but that. Oh, I want to become a better person, but this, but that. And that could be, for example, oh, but the other, but, or I want to forgive it, but hey, look what the other person is doing. So this but the other person, that's very often related to that pushing impulse, right? So do you see where we are going at? So right there we can see how common this is, right? And so really interesting exercise for us to do it. Look within ourselves how much of that impulse that we have, that pushing impulse, it actually comes from our animal nature. And that's why I sometimes will use the word, instead of impulse, we'll use instinct, because it's really coming from that instinct nature that in the past, when animals, or in the animal kingdom, we would refuse or push away everything that would cause us pain, and in this sense would really be a physical pain, a biological pain. Of course, we now, as human beings, we don't necessarily have to or pass through a physical pain, although we, some situations we may as well, but most often we, that may not be the case, but that will be the root, right? So is that uncomfort is going away, moving away from that uncomfortable zone that that would in the past would mean a pain. So in moral terms, that would be everything that would be more a pleasure like, and a circumstantial point of view. So yeah, so is that a new concept to you? Have you ever heard about this pushing impulse? And are you able to start thinking what is the implication of that in your life? Because once we identify this pushing impulse, the next step is, okay, do we want to do different? So perhaps setting up a goal, right? What do I want for my life? And then from what do I want, maybe you can ask yourself, okay, how can we get there? And then from there, maybe why we want to get there. And so with a few of those questions, like what, how, why, for what reason, with these four pillars or four questions, we may be able to set a very clear goal and targets in the process of developing virtues in our day-to-day, right? So I will come back in another time in the future on these four pillars and the relationship between them, and what are the movements that they talk to. Okay, but that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See you. Bye.